Hey, I'm Lenny Lopez. I am a performer with the group Santa Fe and the Fat City Horns. Moved to Las Vegas in 1976. That's my relationship with Skip Weiser from Wayne Cochran and the CC Riders. Now let me go back a little ways and explain to you how I met Skip. This is back in the late 70s. Skip didn't know it at the time, but I had seen him very much the same way that Jessica saw them, was through the window over at the Old Flamingo, what they called a lounge at the time, which was really a showroom. Today it would be considered a showroom. I saw a lot of great shows in that place. And eventually I did get a seat. We hung out long enough to get a seat there. But one night we were working at a club here in Las Vegas. It was in either the late 70s or real early 80s. And we worked at a club down on the strip called Bogey's Nightclub. And at this time the band was called Santa Fe, not Santa Fe and the Fat City Horns. The Fat City Horns came later. And it was my brother Jerry, my brother Gilbert, myself, and a bunch of other great musicians. We had a killer band. The band was just really coming into our own as far as maturity. But the band had been together for many years. Okay, we're going into our 37th year right now. What happened was we were playing at this nightclub called Bogey's Nightclub. It was a male strip show club, and this male strippers would work early. All these females that came to see male strippers would be there, and then our crowd would be outside in line waiting for them to flush the crowd out and let the new ones in. And it was a really cool place. I mean, it was a little bizarre, but it was a very cool place. And we played from midnight till 5 in the morning. Now, one night after performing, this guy comes up to us, approaches us, and says, "Hey, I was a trombone player with Wayne Cochran and the CC Riders." Well, we were like, "Whoa, man, we've seen you play. And wasn't Jaco Pastorius in your band?" And he's like, "Yeah, man, I want you guys to come over to my house tonight if you're not doing anything." And that went on for about 4 or 5 years. We hung out with Skip a lot. And me personally, I became super good friends with Skip and his wife Valerie. And we went to St. Louis together. We did a lot of stuff together. And we listened to a ton of music together. And it seems like that's what made my coming on to his show such an easy thing for me, and I've done the show a bunch of times, because it just feels like I'm back in the living room at his house back in 1982, sitting there listening to Wayne Cochran, Tower Power, Chicago, whatever. Skip is very physical when he listens to music. You can't listen to music without him like hitting you on every hit, and bumping you whenever the hits come in and stuff like that. He's a musician, but very passionate about it. He loves it. And so sitting in a studio with headphones on, talking about music with Skip Weiser, to me, we rehearsed for this radio show 30 years ago. That's really how I feel about it. Now, there's going to be some people coming on the show tonight, and the singer that's coming on this show tonight, his name is Michael Grimm, and I'm really good friends with Michael. I worked with Michael for a lot of years. Santa Fe and the Fat City Horns now really only performs one night a week. We work Monday nights at the Palms, 10:30, and we do some touring. We do some jazz festivals around the country. But getting back to Mike, I got a phone call one night, and it was Michael Grimm's musical director, and he said, "My name is Michael Meacham. I want to know if you would be interested in performing with Michael Grimm, playing percussion and doing some vocals." And I said, "Well, when would you need me?" And he said, "Tonight." And I thought, what, are you crazy? Nobody does gigs like that. I never had. So I said, "Well, who is Michael Grimm?" And this is like 8 or 9 years ago. And he said, "Well, he's a great singer. I know you'll love him." I said, "Well, I really, I'm very sensitive about who I work with. I'm kind of burnt out on the lounge scene. I don't want to do 5 or 6 sets anymore. I refuse to play brick house. I'm 54 years old now, and I can't do that anymore." So I said, "Give me a second."